pretty out here. Yeah. um, and okay, so the subject in which that keeps getting deleted. Well, there's a couple of them. So her song go just gonna get vibe today or what? They said I was on drugs. It was just energy drinks. I still think that's really funny. Anyways, when it comes to tasks and learning and getting out of old habits, and that's one thing too, is like when I've known that things that I've needed to change in the past, I feel like I gotta change everything in one time. I thought that 1% better each day was like 100% better each day. And then when I fell short of those, it was like 0 or 100. If I missed one thing, then the rest, and I didn't have certain like minimums that I just didn't go below. And my capacity, when I was focusing on the lack of things in my life, it made it worse. When me and my ex, like, when we were together, that was one burden that I kind of taken on my own. Like, when you're with somebody all the time, your brain kind of becomes their brain patterns. And so his, like, when we didn't have the financial, and we didn't have this, instead of our minds being able to focus on the solution, we were so focused on the lack that attention made it worse and worse and worse. Because when you're focusing on the problem, it makes the problem worse. And then I would like start, building my capacity, start cleaning more, start doing more for my face, start doing, or like, skincare routine, start taking care of myself more, start getting in routines and stuff, in certain routines, and trying to add on more. But when I would stop something, I would get really shameful of myself and get really hard on myself, and then all of my progress would just, and then my shame would go, and then it was like, and so I hope you caught all that. And so that made it worse. Instead of realizing that consistency that I would do, that showed that I can do it. That showed what that looked like. And sometimes when your capacity is so low and your habits are so bad, and you've been in these mental loops that you didn't know you've been in forever, and you've just carried yourself the same way that you didn't realize, and like you just keep going in the same thought loops, keep going in the same patterns. Every time you feel like you get 10 steps ahead, like, you go back. And I was stuck in that. I was really stuck in that. And until I realized too, like, the shame and stuff, that you're not meant to be shameful. You're meant to, sometimes we have to lose things when we are building our capacity, so that we can make way of the other things we're trying to add. So when you're also dropping a bad habit, okay, now it's time to bring that into fruition. Sometimes you're going to need to put that other thing down for a little bit, so that you can make way in your life, so that you don't get overwhelmed, you don't have burnout. So when you're learning, then okay, after like 30 or so days, you've already seen that other thing, you can be consistent at it. When your body is ready, it's okay, add that back, and that new thing new thing you just learned, and then do that for about 30 days with both, and then you add on something that you did a while back, or whatever that that really moved your life forward. Sometimes it's not bad to drop it after you've been consistent. It's to show you that you can be consistent, and to show you the grit and what that looks like. And then your body will let you know, instead of feeling that like that is shame. It's just a signal for your body saying, okay, it's time. When that thing comes back in your mind again, okay, it's time to bring that back. and see where those fit in time, because you want to make your life work for you, not you work for your life. And that's a huge misconception that I had too on what that even looked like. And now that I do, I'm like, oh, okay. And sometimes even that meaning like videos. I really want to help, but some days I it gets so busy and things just happen. Okay, well, when's a time in your day that, okay, well, I'm already doing chores. Okay, then maybe I can do that during my chores, or listening to affirmations, fit that in while I'm driving, or sometimes listening to a meditation uh, while I'm, driving to, like, not that kind of, not like one that okay, but just fitting it in where it works for you. And sometimes, like, I have to catch myself too. I'm like, when I'm looking at maybe too many TikToks, like, I'm like, ooh, I could be editing one of my own videos right now. I could be focusing on my own videos, like my own stuff. So it's like, am I pouring into other people's dreams, or am I pouring into my own? That's something that I had to really be aware of too. That one's been more so lately. I'm like, so that trick, I'm like watching, I'm like, ooh. But now too with my pet, I'm like, I can do both. I can do both. Or like, if I want to fit those certain leisurely things in, then like lately I've been having a hard time getting to the gym, but I switch. I'm like, but I have really good stuff at home that I can do. And there's been really good like videos popping up too that go with the stuff that I have that really help my body. I'm like, it's just constantly learning to be adaptable, constantly learning to make your life work for you. And that can look different every day. And instead of being overwhelmed by that, adapting to that, I had to really learn how to be adaptable to my own life, because every day is different. I had to learn to like put myself in the chaos and have like organized chaos instead of just chaos. And my brain just be like, overload. Because that ran me into the ground. And then too, having all that shame can cause a lot of burnout as well, because your mental exhaustion when you're focusing on the problem. So sometimes when you have to let go consistency, don't focus on that, and don't focus on the shame of it. Focus on, I did this, I can do it again. Obviously my focus needs to be adding or dropping something else. Be consistent with that, and then I can add that back in. That way I'm not overwhelming myself of my capacity, and I'm not overwhelming and setting burnout to myself, because I'm not adding too much at a time, but I'm not overloading my brain by making shame of myself either. So that's been real helpful.